Hello and welcome to this tutorial. I want to show you how to create subthings. Subthings are creations that you attach to your creation, or specifically you attach it to a part inside your creation. So let's create something, and now we drag in the base shape, and this will be the center part. Let's give it a bit of color. Now I will open the inventory. Robot. So I just did a voice search in the inventory. I found some robot heads and I attached them. And you can see the core of the part goes outside to the core of the heads here. And now if I move this one, everything moves as one group. If I context laser the center part again, I will see the subthings icon is also highlighted. If I click it now, I'm back in this mode. When I see the lines, I can move the parts separately in relation to the main part. If I'm outside this dialog, it will move as one group like this. So what happens if we animate the center part? You can probably guess. When starts, then become next in 1 second. Same for the second state. Let's move it a bit and hit preview. And now, as you probably guessed, the whole group moves as one. Let's save this and drop it into the inventory as well. Now we want to give a try of a thing that includes a thing that includes a thing. So we double nest right now. Let's create this little structure here. And maybe we want to nest it to this part. We drag it inside. And now if we animate this one, it starts, then become 2. Like this. Then you can see there's now an animation that is animating another animation. So you can nest infinitely as much as you want. Note that when anybody context lasers different parts of their creation, they will always see the proper credits. So if I context laser the robot head, it will say creator Nebula. And if I context laser this one, it will say creator Paul Zicki. And this one, the core, would be done by me. When I laser another subthing, I can also jump to the core by clicking something off here. Another type of subthing is an area placed subthing. It's quite similar. It can move other things with a centerpiece, but it can move placements and not inclusions from your inventory. For example, let us take this animation again, edit, and we remove all of these. But we keep the animation, and now we click on subthings again. We go to in area, and now we context laser anything we want to attach. Context the couch, TV. Now we hit play. Oh, sorry. In this mode, you need to hit done first, and then you can see the placements move with the centerpiece. One benefit of doing it this way is I can now still edit the couch. Actually try that. Painted cyan here, and now if I hit done, the connection is still available, but the couch is updated. I can also in this mode delete this one separately, and the placements will still be available. Now, something interesting for included subthings is the way that you can access the scripts of the subthings. Let me give you an example. Let me create a button, and when I press the button, it will tell the main part that it was pressed. Let's create a little button base like this, and a little button here. Now we context laser it and say, when touched, then become next state in 0.5 seconds, and the next state we say just when starts then become next in 0.5. So when we touch it, we go to the second state. In the second state we put it down there. Let's give it a try. Okay, that works. Now we do one more thing. We say when touched, then tell pressed, for example. You can use any word here. And we also make sure we give this a proper name, like button. We hit done to save. Now let me place it here, make some place in my inventory. And we create a new thing. Let's have a little, let's pretend this is a light bulb, just something quick for demo purposes. And we want the light bulb to glow when the button is pressed. So we include the button. Oops. And now we get the pressed event. So we need to listen for it. From this part, we say when told, pressed, then become next. And the next state will be something right. And then let's just go back quickly to the first state so we can better test it. We hit the preview plate to reset everything, and now we press this included thing, which may not even be one that we made originally, and it's now telling this creation something. And as usual, we can move these as one. Now, maybe your creation has included several of these buttons, and you want to have separate events, separate tells, so you know which button was pressed. So right now both of these would just connect back to this one and tell it pressed. So we can't really differentiate at the moment. Let me rewind. As you can see, both buttons are doing the exact same. What we really want is to separate left and right here. So we say when told pressed by left button, then become next. And let me first copy this same line here, but now I go back and I name it right button. So when told pressed by left button, then become next in 1 second. When told pressed by right button, then become 3 in 1 second. And state 3 will be another color. Let's take this one, for example. And I have to go back to the first in 1 second here. Okay, we now have 2 buttons, but they're not named yet. We're already listening for left button and right button, but we need to name them. To do that, we context laser the core again, click on something icon, and now we can context laser the individual subthings. And here you can see they use the default button name, but we can now override this and we say left button, for example. And on this one we say right button. And let me save it. This one turns yellow and this one turns the light bulb blue. So these creations are the exact same original ones, but we changed the name to then get a different tell event. So you can create or search for all kinds of levers and buttons and then make your own machine and still be able to have different buttons be wired up differently. There's something else interesting that you can do with subthings, and that is you can have holdables inside the thing, and these holdables could then be, for example, the apples of a tree, or you can attach something onto yourself and use it as a kind of grabbable item from like a tool belt. So let's create a little arm that we can grab something from. I will make a very simple arm just for testing again. And now we want to attach something here, anything. Maybe this Vive controller, maybe this Oculus touch controller as well. And I need to make sure those are holdable. I go into the something edit mode and I context laser it. And indeed, it's already set to be holdable. If it wasn't set holdable, you could still toggle the attribute here, so you can make something originally non-holdable holdable this way. But these are already holdable, so it works out of the box. I now have a little arm here. I go into me mode. Like this. And now I take off change things. And I got my little tool belt here. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and have fun with the Subthings feature. Bye bye.